Oh, it's been said a bard's life can often be a hard life, or hill and dale to rove and always move from town to town. And some folk have inquired if ever we grow tired of ranging all around the world and never settling down.
But one should be a little wary of remaining stationary, 'cause comfortable is lovely, but it's not the way we grow. When life starts to unravel, pick up your pack and travel. You'll find a strange serenity in places you don't know. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-da-terry-o-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. You've got no map for showing which direction you are going.
But why start on a journey if you know where it will end?
And once you recognize,
to anticipate surprise, you'll relish every twist and turn that lies around the bend. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-da-terry-o-dee-da-dee-da-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. La-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. La-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. The world has got its demons. There are many reasons why you'd find it harder to be brave than be afraid. But every life could use some danger. Every friend was once a stranger. Ships are safe in harbor, but that's not why ships are made.
Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-da-terry-o-dee. Dee-dee, a fwit-dee-dee-dee-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Da-da-da-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Adventures waiting further down the road. Let's go! Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Da-da-da-da-da-lie-da-lie. Da-da-da-da-da-lie-da-lie.
Greetings, friends, and welcome back to another edition of Gothic Horror Gaming here on Nat 21 Adventures. I'm your host, the Glue Master, Tom Zadoyko, and as always, we are going to be doing a little bit of tabletop role-playing of a horror genre. But before I get into describing what exactly we're going into tonight, I would like to take a moment and thank our sponsors. We'd like to thank 3D2U, which are friends of ours. They make lovely gaming products, dice trays, dice towers, journals, that sort of thing. Please check them out, 3d2u.org. Also would like to thank Destination D&D through runadventures.com. They recently came back from Muncaster Castle in England, where they played D&D in a real castle. And you will have that opportunity as well next year. I believe June 14th was on the crawl previously that you saw in the video. So that will be in 2025. And then in this fall, in November, they're going to New Orleans to game in and around New Orleans, culminating in a trip to the Louisiana Renaissance Fair, where you can see many of the people on this channel performing live and in person. And we'd also like to thank, well, ourselves. Melissa Lee, Handler Z, who you saw on the intro, has written a book. It is a collection of short fiction and poetry of the horror or sci-fi genres, and it is available in paperback, on Kindle, and an audiobook version narrated by yours truly, the Gloom Master. We are working on a new one. We've selected 5 of the stories that we'll be putting together into a new volume that will hopefully be out by Halloween, so keep an eye out for that. Now, a little bit about who we are, what we are doing tonight. There it goes. This is, as I said, a horror tabletop role-playing game for anybody who happens to be new joining us. We're going to deal with some very uncomfortable things at times, violence, gore, descriptions of very unpleasant things, things of common phobias, that sort of thing. So please be aware that that is what we are doing here tonight. If that is not exactly your cup of tea, we absolutely understand. And please do join us for some of our other games. They are a lot of fun as well. Also, a little bit about our system tonight. We are using the rule set that is called Over the Edge. It is very, very, very simple. Every character has 3 traits, a primary and 2 side traits. If you attempt to do anything, you see if it falls under one of those traits and roll the appropriate number of dice to succeed. Now, these traits can be anything. For example, we could have a nun is our primary trait. She's a nun, but she is also she's an electrician, let us say, a hobby electrician. So that's her side trait. And maybe she also likes to run marathons. She athletic. We'll put that as her other side trait. Now, anytime she attempts to do something, we will see if it falls underneath one of her traits and then roll. For instance, if she is trying to recall a particular passage from the Bible to cast an exorcism, let us say, she would roll 4d6, as that is her primary trait. If, however, she is attempting to outrun a hideous creature, she would instead roll 3d6, as that is one of her side traits, being athletic. However, if it does not fall underneath any of her traits, let us say that this same character is attempting to isolate a chemical compound out of something, out of a potion that they have found. In that case, you would only roll 2d6. Now, all of you in Twitchlandia can help. Sir David Percival is over there in the comments helping us out. Once again, thank you so much, Sir David Percival, for this. You can spend your Twitch points on helps. All you must do is declare which player, or me, the Game Master, the Gloom Master, you want to help. Those helps are being kept track of by Sir David Percival. And when you go to make a roll, one of the players, they can choose to use one of the helps. When you do, you get to roll an extra die, but still only take the maximum amount. Let us say that the nun is desperately trying to remember a particular Bible passage, but they really need to remember it. So instead of rolling 4d6, they choose to use a help. They will roll 5d6, but then they will still only take the highest 4. So it helps you get a higher roll, statistically speaking. Now, where are we? We are in the Chill universe, which is a game by Mayfair Games. In it, the supernatural, or as they call it, the unknown, is very real, very dangerous, and very often very evil. There is an organization that is combating the evil in the world, the unknown in the world. It is called SAVE, the Society of the Eternal Silver Way, is the Latin translation. They are not a government agency. They are privately funded philanthropists, essentially, who are attempting to keep the world safe from the unknown and the supernatural, of which the general public is completely ignorant. Our particular game right now is set in the year 1991. Our players, four of our 5 players, their characters were contacted by a Mr. Gordon Pym from SAVE and asked to investigate some hideous mutilations in the south of Virginia, in the Blue Ridge Mountains, just off of Interstate 81, near the small little town of Floyd, Virginia. Another of our players was on a separate endeavor to try to find out what was going on and has joined them. So let me introduce the players and let us see what they remember, what they want to tell us about where they are and what they are doing. We're going to start with Joshua Barry, who's a relative local of the area. Hello, Joshua. Welcome.
Well, hey there. How's it going?
Spooky.
So last time we went looking for these missing people who aren't missing anymore, because we found or we knew that they were in fact deceased, completely skeletalized, and they got trees growing up out of their bones. So we went to look for them, and we ended up passing, or we found them. We found some tracks. We followed those tracks, got to a copper still, and that's where things kind of started to go south. So we heard something that sounded like an elk or a large deer of some sort, and then well, that's when we got attacked by some wild boars that aren't quite right. And I got myself an injury about it.
And you were not the only one. Also joining us is Annalise Baker. Annalise, welcome. You are muted, unfortunately.
Sorry about that.
So what do you recall from the previous sessions?
Well, at this point, I'm terribly panicked because we were just in a horrible battle. And I tried climbing a tree, and that only worked for so long. And then I had to shoot. I had to shoot several wild hogs, and I just really don't think I can handle much more of this. I want to go home. I do not want to be here. I do not care. If I know that Scotsman is very handsome, but I do not care. I just want to go home and look at birds and not be here anymore. This is too much for me.
Indeed. You were a bit overwhelmed there. Speaking of overwhelming, Max Carrington is also here.
And out of a tree.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, it came down. I tried my handed a handgun. It looks so easy. And it's not. I hit nothing. Well, I've hit stuff, not the intended, but I hit things. I did a better job smacking them in the face when I kicked one with my shoe.
As you did smite one with your shoe.
Yeah, well, they're expensive.
I'm sure it noticed. But I believe both you and Annalise were unscathed in this.
Yes, we managed to avoid getting any injury, which is small favors for everything that we're dealing with. So a win's a win.
I just to clarify for everyone, they are at a moonshining still in the mountains nearby where the surveyors were skeletalized with trees growing out of them, savaged by hogs.
30 to
and
50
partially devoured.
feral hogs just out of nowhere.
Yes, some moonshiners have perished here. And speaking of moonshiners who have perished, one of them was related to our next player, Emma Jean Hart.
Listen, those hogs were crazier than a crow in a crocus field. Let me tell you what. I ain't
Again,
never
I
seen
don't think that's real.
what the hogs.
No, the hogs I know it's the colloquialisms. No, sorry, continue. Please expound more wisdom.
Anyhow, I ain't never seen hogs act like that, and I've been living in these hills my whole damn life. And now my uncle is passed, so there's that. Solve that mystery, but more mysteries abound, and I have more questions than a caretaker at a rodeo. I don't.
That one I have read in a fortune cookie. That one I will give you.
That's fair.
Well, thank you. It's very, very kind of you, sir.
You're grieving, so your words aren't supposed to make sense right now.
And speaking of not making sense, last but not least, we have Alice Harvey.
Hi.
What does our
Yep.
72-year-old grandmother think of all this?
You know, she still got it. I still got it, let me tell you. But for being 72 years old and getting knocked over by one of these feral pigs, I'm still doing pretty good. Got the wind knocked out of me, but I'm still doing pretty good. It was really interesting because wasn't there some weird hoof prints that we saw at the other place too with the other bodies and the
Mhm.
trees and the hoof prints here? I don't know. It's probably related, but that seems a little out of my depth.
Yes, indeed. You did notice the tracks coming here. You noticed the tracks at the survey site. You heard what sounded like an elk, which matches up with the deer-like prints that you saw, but they are much larger than a regular deer and irregularly edged, as if it is not. There's something wrong with the hooves, perhaps.
Ooh.
And some of you are rather injured. I know Joshua got gored in the side, if I'm not mistaken, pretty badly.
Yep.
And his poor dog Oscar, got flung against a tree. He's
Oh.
limping a little, but he still wags his tail at you.
Yeah.
And I believe Alice got thrown to the side. And Emma, you were injured too, were you not? Or no?
Nope.
No.
Nope,
You
just
managed
the
to
three of
dodge
us.
all of the rampaging pigs.
Indeed. Thank goodness.
So the dust has settled. The pigs are dead, as are the two distillers. You are out here in the woods. The forest is calm and quiet. You don't hear any birds anymore after the gunfire and everything. So you assume they were scared off by that. So it's very quiet right now.
I would like to go over to my uncle's corpse. The top half, if I recall correctly.
Mhm.
Are his eyes open?
The one that remains is. The other one has been feasted upon, presumably by these pigs.
All right. I would like to take 2 coins out my pocket, and I'd like to place them on one on his eyelid to close it, and the other for symmetry's sake, I guess.
It sits on the torn muscle that was around his eye socket for his eyebrow and cheekbone, and after a moment slides into the hollow socket that was his skull. But the keys are in place. The coins are in place as best as you can.
Hey, I don't mean to be like a drag or anything on your moment, but I think I'm dying.
Oh no. Well, I probably have something here in my basket for that, and I'd like to rifle through. And would it be reasonable that I would have some basic first aid stuff in there?
Oh yeah, you have a first aid kit.
Oh, perfect. Great. I'm gonna hobble on over. And would I mayhaps be able to use my main skill to see if I could help a little bit?
Absolutely.
Fabulous.
Yeah, I took 10 points of damage out of my 22 you said?
24.
24. So
We
Okay,
should
I
probably
rolled
get you to.
Yeah, I rolled a 16 for something.
Very good. You buttle on over to him and manage to start treating his wounds. It doesn't look like anything vital was pierced. He lost some blood, but
Okay.
you are able
That's
to
good.
staunch the flow and stabilize him fairly well and bind him up decently enough that as long as he doesn't strain it, it should not be in great danger. Obviously, he's going to have to get it properly cleaned and disinfected somewhere. You just did a cursory with what you have, but I mean, it was a feral pig's tusk that went into his side. That
It's not
will
exactly sterile.
probably be something that needs to be addressed as time goes on.
Uh-huh.
Oh, now how's the pain, sweetheart? Are you doing okay? Do you need anything?
Uh it hurts.
Oh, I have something for that too. And I pull out a flask and I hand it to you.
Thanks, Granny. What's in the flask?
Don't worry about
I'm
it.
just gonna
Just take a sip, you'll be
uncork
fine.
it and ma'am, that's awful.
I know, but it helps. And I take it back and I put it back in there and then I just kind of twaddle off. I'm like, okay.
I'm gonna try to stand up.
You can with it takes a moment, but you are standing, and you can move around, just not overly fast. That's all.
I'm gonna limp my way over to the nearest dead hog.
All right.
And I assume I still have my hunting knife on me.
Yes, you do.
I want to just make an autopsy style incision straight down the middle. I'm wanting to see if there's anything fucky on the inside.
All right. So you're like if you were hunting, you were dressing the kill.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a hunter roll. That's one of your side traits, a 3d6.
Nice. 16.
Nothing seems out of the ordinary. You've hunted before. You even your uncle once you went out on a boar hunt with him and got he got a wild pig, so you were there for it. Doesn't look out of place. There's nothing noticeably weird about inside the pig.
All right. Well, I don't know why these hogs kept attacking us. I mean, from what I can tell, they're just normal pigs, but even they ought to have had some sort of preservation instinct. They shouldn't have fought us to the death, is what I'm saying. They should have run away at some point.
I mean, hogs
we're-
can be mean, but not this mean.
Some ain't right.
Well, if we were dealing with something normal, I think that that's a valid explanation. But we are currently in a situation where 3 gentlemen are nothing but just essentially decayed toothpicks. So reason is not our friend right now.
I just want to know why they attacked us.
Annalise and Emma, you know full well that they should not have fought you to the death like this. From both your backgrounds, both as a hunter in the woods and as a naturalist. That should not have happened like that.
Yeah. Couple of questions. First, I can't remember. Did I dislodge my hatchet from the skull of that other?
It's still in the skull of it. You have to go over and get it.
Great. I go over and
With a little bit of effort, you manage to pry it free. There's a bit of a crunch and an oozing of red and gray out of its skull.
I clean it with a rag in my pocket.
There's a lovely aroma of organ meat that is permeating your axe now.
Tasty.
All right. Well, £10 to $1, I'd say it has to do with the sound of that elk. Sounded like they were calling him in.
Hmm.
An intriguing concept. What time is it roughly now? Since this scuffle has happened, we got here around like 3.
Yeah,
So
about
this
3.
around
So I
3?
would say it's probably about 4 now that you've dealt with. The actual combat itself only took a minute or two.
Yeah.
But the aftermath has taken a little bit.
And what time would we estimate darkness? coming
Here
in?
in the mountains in September, it's probably just because of the hills, probably around 6.
We ought to
You
be
should
getting
probably-
out of here soon.
And you should probably get yourself to a doctor.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll have an oven.
Oh, I hope they do. We should take some of the feral pig, and we should go and roast it for dinner. That sounds delicious, doesn't it?
I mean, yeah, but it would take a little bit to process all this meat here.
Oh, we just
It's
have to
taking
take
a little bit to process all of this right now.
bit.
That's fair.
Can I listen to the birds in the forest? Does it sound like the forest has gone back to normal, or should we?
So it slowly comes back to normal. It takes a
Okay.
little bit, but it does. Obviously, the wildlife was scared off by the discharge of several firearms, the screams and groans and shrieks of dying pigs. But it eventually starts to get back into a normal rhythm.
Well, I tied the streamers to the trees, so we could just go. We could just go out, and then we can tell the police how to get in, and we should go.
I'm agreeing with Annalise at this moment. Max, can you help me out of here?
Oh, of course, absolutely. Let's go. We'll go back. We'll regroup. We'll share with maybe if we share some of this information, what we've seen with our Scottish friend, he might be able to give us a little bit of insight. Maybe you know something that we are just ambivalent to.
All right, I'll lead us out of here, and I'd like to I'm gonna just unshoulder my rifle, and I'd like to reload it, please.
Very good. Annalise has in fact been tying streamers all the way, so your way back out is very easily marked. And without too much difficulty, you get back to the Jeep.
I'm gonna try to hop into the back of it. Come on, Oscar, let's go.
Oscar gives a little yip, a little wince of pain, but does manage to jump up in.
Poor baby.
Poor boy.
Yeah, we gotta get you looked at too, buddy.
So you climb back into the vehicle, and you are heading back out. And after, we'll say it's about 5:30 to get rolled back into the thriving metropolis that is Floyd, Virginia. Population, I think 350.
Well, Imogene, you know that there's a doctor anywhere nearby?
Sure
There
do.
is a town doctor, yes. Absolutely.
At this point, I'll go for a liquor store.
I'm assuming I do know where the doctor is.
Yes. Yes, there. Dr. Edward. He's down there. Dr. Edward Smalls. He's a older gentleman. He's probably in his 50s, like mid to late 50s, but he's been practicing for probably the past 20 years in town. So your family knows of him.
Very good. All right. Let's take you down to Doc Smalls.
Yeah, I ought to take care of this sooner rather than later.
The doctor has just a small little practice, a little office. He's got a nurse practitioner assistant to help him out. As you arrive, it's just a regular house. But as you arrive, you see that he's just about to step out. He's just about to close up. He's standing on the porch about to lock the door. He sees you approaching.
Hey, Doc. This
yes?
is probably an emergency room situation, but I don't
Good
think I
heavens!
got that long. And I'm
He,
gonna
he looks
open
over and
my
he sees the blood.
yeah, and the
Oh
bandage.
my goodness! What happened? Well, never mind. Never mind. And he
I'll
fumbles at the
tell you
lock.
while you fix me up.
He reopens the bring him in. Bring him in. Bring him in. Here, let me. He grabs the phone. It's a modern. It's a touchtone phone. It's cordless even, and
Ooh.
My
he
God.
dials and he says, Mary, come on back. I know you got home, but something came up at the practice, and I might need your help. All right, now right this way, Mister. What is it now,
Mr. Barry,
Mister Barry?
Josh
Come here,
Barry.
come here. These are your friends. Just help me get him back into the examination room.
I'll help
He
him.
moves them on back.
Yep. Move him back
How
there.
you doing, Doc?
Yep.
Emma, that's Emma. Is that you? I haven't seen you a couple years now.
Hi there, Doc. How you doing?
Well, I'm fine, but you folks seem to have had a bit of a problem. What uh, what happened
Well,
as he's working on you? He's disinfecting the wound, causes a
Mhm.
sharp intake of breath as the stinging. It's the 90s, so it's iodine.
Yeah.
He's cleaning out the wound. Um, he's then examining it for foreign material, and then he's immediately starts throws on a little bit of a topical antiseptic, a topical anesthetic rather, and begins sewing the wound back closed. Um, After examining it, make sure there's no foreign matter lodged in there or no significant bleeding inside internally. So what happened?
well,
Oh,
what you
pig.
know it. We were up down at well, I can't rightly tell you where it was, but remember Uncle Joel?
Yeah,
He said,
yeah, I remember your Uncle Joel.
well, he
He comes
set
in. I haven't
himself
seen
up.
him. He's normally in for the festival this time of month.
Well, that's the thing is that I was worried about him because I ain't seen him. He ain't come down. So he set himself up, still up in the mountain in the valley.
Oh yeah, of
And
course.
boy, we went out and looked for him because it's been a few days, and then we well, I guess it ain't hit me too hard yet, but yeah, him and I don't rightly remember what his partner's name was, but we found him up in the woods there, all ripped to shit. And wouldn't you know it, we had all these hogs up there just going crazy, rutting around, and boy, did we just get full downright attacked. And this
Oh,
poor kid over here, Josh, he just got skewered real good by one of them.
Yeah, I got him back.
are you telling me that Joel and Clint got
Mm-hmm.
killed by wild pigs?
Yep, their body's still up there. We have to go get them down later on. But yep, wild pigs,
Oh,
right?
sweet child, I'm so sorry. And then
Thank
those
you.
same pigs attacked you?
Well, I don't know if they were the same pigs, but a mess of them.
Is anybody else hurt?
Seemed to me like they had the taste of human flesh already.
Mm. Alice here got knocked down a bit, and where's Oscar? Where's that dog? He got.
Yeah,
Um,
I've brought Oscar in as well.
Alice, you just have some bruising.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't worry about me too much. I'm a pretty tough little old lady.
Well, let me take a look just to be safe, if you don't mind, ma'am.
Oh, sure thing. Okay.
He gives you a once over real quick at your injuries, and says it all appears to be mainly superficial, so it doesn't seem to be anything too deep and
She's
internal.
got like an angel of death tattoo up here.
Yeah. Are you taking your rolling your sleeves up or anything for him to look at?
I mean, I'll roll my sleeves up. I have a cardigan over my shoulders constantly. Like I am like full sweater no matter what temperature it is. But I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm like I probably have a decent amount of like just like random little scars. I don't know that I have any tattoos though."
All right. There's a yes, there's a network, a crisscross of scars that would probably make a tattoo very difficult to put on at this point. And he says, and your little friend got hurt too.
Yeah, I know you're
Oh.
not a vet, but do your best.
Well,
He's a
why don't you take
strong
a
boy.
look? Um, let me see. And he takes a look at. Well, let's see how he does. He takes a look at Oscar. Well, he's got some bruised ribs, and he might have torn his ACL back here or along his leg. It's going to be a little bit painful, a little bit limpy, but you know, he can live with it.
He'll be all right. He's a tough one.
Well, now, I suppose you'll be wanting to go talk to the sheriff about what you found.
Yep.
He checks in on your pain levels, Joshua, and gives you some. And gives you actually a little bit of morphine.
Yeah, I'm a little tired. I think I might go take a rest then.
Well, I hope somebody else is driving because what I just gave you, probably you shouldn't be.
Oh, let's risk it.
Well, I can drive everybody back. It'll be fine.
Now, I hate to mention this, but and I certainly don't want anything, but if there's any way you could defray the cost of the supplies, I'd be much obliged.
Oh, I
I'll
can
take
write a
care of
check.
You keep that check.
Oh, are you sure? Oh, that's so sweet.
At least I can do. So yeah, Max will take care of it.
Yeah, he doesn't charge you for his services. He just charges you for the supplies,
Thanks, man.
and that's it. So it's actually not terribly much.
Appreciate it.
I'll come back round, Doc, with some things for you.
Well, now then, Mr. Barry, if you have any problems with that, you let me know. And Miss Alice, if you have any notice anything tightening up on you or anything, just come on back and I'll take a look. I'm usually
I
in
don't think
about
it'll
7
happen,
in the
but
morning.
thank you. Do you want some cookies? I still have some leftover cranberry cookies if you want some. Here, take the rest. Thank you so much for all your help today. You're so sweet and kind.
You didn't really have a choice.
Thank you. So you leave the doctor's office.
Somebody help me up into the car.
Yeah,
Yep.
You are not far from the Motel 6 either, where you are staying.
Nah, I'm good. I'm just gonna right here. I'm gonna just close my eyes in the back of the truck.
All right.
Well, should have gotten the doctor to give us all a little bit of that.
Maybe we just could we just go to the Denny's and get some coffee?
We can.
Good.
It does seem a bit counterproductive to his drowsiness. Do we? And I just shake Joshua a little bit. Are you in a coffee mood or a sleep mood?
I need coffee. I need coffee.
I suspect, Annalise, you need what he just got from the doctor. I should have I should have slipped something else. All right.
What's the?
That is the smartest thing you have said all day.
You do manage to get to the Denny's without much difficulty. Get the vehicles over there, and the same woman who waited on you before is waiting on you again. They appear to
hi,
have 2
sweetheart.
employees.
Hi, we're back. Didn't you miss us? Oh.
Hello. By the way, the cookies were very nice. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. My grandchildren love them so much. I had to perfect that recipe. Oh, my friend was looking for a cup of coffee. Can you grab her one, darling?
Can I have 2, please? 2.
Oh, 2.
2 cups of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
She takes her order.
Fine. Yeah,
right.
Fine.
And she wanders off. So there you are. You're pretty much the only. There's one trucker, but he's on the other side of the seating area, pretty much out of earshot. So you pretty much have the place to yourselves.
I take out a pouch of tobacco and I start rolling myself a cigarette.
I don't really know how much more help I can be on this situation.
I mean, I think the next step is that we just go and we talk to the police here and see, we just report and make sure that they know all the things that happened with all the hogs. And then, you know, I I just have an inkling that maybe someone here might know about this weird the hoof thing, the thing that keeps coming up, that weird thing. I just it's just hard to believe for me that no one knows about it here. I mean, or we could just follow them as far as they go. Again, although I feel like we already did that. Hmm.
Well, first of all, Annalise, I think you're very helpful. You know about birds and stuff. But I just have a couple more questions. I feel like the chance of our meeting was not so much chance. And I guess I mostly have a question as to exactly why were y'all out here again? Remind me.
I can we do we want to sorry, out of game real quick. Do we want to like go through that, or we want to say that like as like food and like coffee comes through, like we just like it's a lovely like montage of us all explaining our
Do you explain
precarious backgrounds.
and you explain who sent you here and why?
I think I mean that's I vote on that just out of the interest of transparency, because I think the group's going to have to work together, so I think it makes sense. But I'm open for
Max begins to explain everything. Everybody else chimes in and explains about Gordon Pym and Save. They heard about the bodies. They were sent down here
and
to
so like
investigate.
cut to the end of like the diatribe, and it's just like putting the coffee cup down. And that's when he opened up a supply closet. He stepped inside, he disappeared, and I never saw him again. But then you show up and you take care of things. And based on everything you've seen today, our explanation of how we got here is really not the craziest thing you've heard. What's crazy is that somehow this waitress is always working when we step inside. I mean, that's kind of like serendipitous. And
She
and
does
this
look
one
very
always has
haggard.
cookies. Yeah. So.
The waitress does look very haggard.
I
I think she was here
mean,
when Denny franchised it, the original waitress.
now that you say all that, it does make a lot of sense. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so you're telling
Does
me
it?
that
Okay.
Well,
like
None of
that
it makes
like
sense, but that's kind of the point.
yeah.
well, I mean, I've lived in these woods for my whole life, obviously. I've said this before. There's some weird shit that goes on in these mountains, all right?
Yeah, clearly.
And we always have had stories of, critters and ghouls and ghosts coming around, so it kind of makes sense now that you say it.
But like on a scale of like 1 to 10, how weird is this comparatively?
I mean, this is weirder than a walleye in a rat trap, all right?
The longer I'm around you, the more they make sense.
Emma, this you have heard more strange stories around here, but you've never seen concrete evidence like you've seen.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard about, but this I've seen. Like, there's trees growing out and hogs getting crazy. Look, this is a lot. This is crazy. So,
As you're sitting there talking, you hear the front door open, and in walks that tall, barefooted bagpiper redhead with the beard, Mr. Taylor Barrett. And
Oh, hi! Hi!
spots you and-
Hello! We're over here. Come sit with us. Do you need a cup of coffee? We can grab you a cup of coffee. She's so lovely. What a dear. Do you need some cookies too? I think I still have some more.
Oh! Thank you very much, Miss Alice. But I'm fine as far as food is concerned.
Oh.
Dr. Smalls told me that you had been by and that you were not well. He also, and I apologize if this interferes at all with any sort of patient doctor privilege, but he did tell me what did this to you, and I thought I would come on over and see if I could learn anything or perhaps share anything with you.
Quick question. Do I know Mr. Barrett?
Yes, you do. Um, Mr. Taylor Barrett is a longstanding fixture in Floyd. Um, he's been here um, your entire life that you know of. He was a young man then. He's a middle-aged man now, but he's kind of the de facto mayor of town. Well respected, well loved, um, quiet. Only really speaks when he has something to say.
Okay.
Uh, so, um, uh, what are uh, sir? You appear to be injured, but that the doctor is taking care of you.
I'm
Uh,
fine.
oh, I see that the doctor has been
He's got him on the good
assisting you
stuff right now.
with your pain.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what
Just
can I
out in
do?
the booth like this.
Oh, just
I
have a seat. We'll tell you all about it. It's been a very exciting day.
All right, he sits down. What all do you want to tell him?
I want to ask him without telling him anything. I want to take out the drawing that I have done of the footprint and just present on the table. Be like, when we were out walking around, roughly in the area of the painting that I bought, we stumbled across this footprint, and none of us are expert. I mean, we're not expert hunters or gatherers, traffickers. I mean, I'm from the city. I can tell you what a rat looks like and what corner to avoid. Have you ever seen anything or know of anything that would leave something like this?
He glances down. He glances down at the paper and says, "Well, I mean, it's obviously it's shaped like a deer, but much larger, and the edges are very um, irregular, unlike a deer's hoof print would be. Um, I actually have seen this out in the woods myself.
Oh, where have you
About
seen it?
about 2 weeks ago, I was up by Emmett's Run. There's a stream
Mm-hmm.
called Emmett's Run. Um, runs roughly through the area where you all were. Um,
I know it.
um, that's actually I don't know if you remember, but you asked about the stream last time. That he's referring to that exact stream. It's like I was up that way, and I did see these odd tracks. I didn't see anything else besides the tracks, and I didn't really pursue them very much. Um,
Did Did you see which direction they were headed?
they were headed roughly to the north.
Hmm.
They were down by that big bend in Emmett's Run. You know where I mean, Emma?
Yes, I
Uh,
do.
there's that really that's almost like a 90-degree angle, and from there it goes basically due north. Now that I think about it, there was an anthropologist who was looking around about a month ago around that area as well. I don't remember what his name was, but he came from up north somewhere. He was looking for uh, indigenous indigenous art and artifacts and that sort of thing.
Huh. Do you recall
But
the name of this
I
person?
seem to recall him poking up around that area too. But that was about a month ago.
Interesting.
Huh. And nobody saw him? I mean, I guess I feel like this is an area where people recognize someone new coming in. They would also recognize someone new leaving.
Well, he came in Now, I don't recall when he left. Now, I wasn't looking for him, though, and like I said, it was about a month ago when he was going up looking for native sites to investigate of some kind. Um, I imagine he was in town for a couple days before he went out and into the woods. I just assumed he came back and left.
Is there any other place to stay in town other than the Motel 6?
Not unless you have kin here.
Wonderful. Not well. Great for business. If there's no competition, we can chat with the front desk, see if maybe they know anything.
That's a mighty good idea. Did you tell him about what happened to your uncle and Clint, or no?
I'm just gonna tell him, listen, Joel and Clint up there in the still, I can give you proper directions. Well, we need to retrieve their bodies. I'd like to give them a good proper burial if that's possible.
After you explain about the boar, he's like, of course, I'll get with the sheriff if you want me to.
That would be nice, yes. Did you
Mhm.
get that side of venison I sent to you last month?
I did. It was very nice. My dog Lance and I had shared it. It was very good.
Good.
You remember little Lancelot?
Yes, I do. Well,
He's not so little anymore.
mm,
And he holds his hand up mid thigh. He's just tall at the shoulder now.
oh my. Still a little puppy though, huh?
Well, I mean, he's 2, so I guess he's beyond puppy. I've
Mm.
trained him to attack anybody who has a firearm in my presence.
Well, let me not see that dog then, huh?
Oh, he stays at home. I don't bring him out.
That's good.
He
Ooh.
minds the property while I'm not there.
He's a good dog right there.
He is indeed.
I got a good dog.
Yes, you do, buddy. Yes, you do.
I see. Well, if you'll excuse me, then I'm going to go and talk to the sheriff, and I'll make arrangements to go out there and give the proper respects that Clint and Joel deserved. I'm terribly sorry, Emma. I truly am.
There's
Might have found
paper streamers that'll take you right there in the woods.
Oh, you marked a trail, Annalise?
Yeah.
That was very smart of you. I'll follow that. Thank you.
Mhm.
Well, looks like you folks have had enough of an adventure for one day. Maybe you should go rest up. I'll be in town if you need me. He takes his leave. He leaves the money for his coffee and departs.
As soon as he is out the door, I'm just going to look at the table and I go, that man always feels both helpful and precariously unhelpful at the same time. There's an energy
I like
about
him.
That's
mind
right,
it.
baby. No, you don't.
He's alright.
There's something in the tone. There's something in the tone. Maybe it's because I live in a city that has more than 350 people in it, but there's just something
I think
there.
it's weird that he's Scottish, plays bagpipes, but he sounds like he's from Georgia.
Well, boy, I should. You know what?
You know
There's
what?
a
People
New
can
York
take
Renaissance
multitudes, okay?
Festival that I should.
Oh, we should all just take a minute. I think it is time for bed, y'all.
Yes, we should go back to the hotel. We should get this one lying down. We should get this one a nap, a hot. Annalise, what helps you sleep at night?
Nothing.
Well, can't blame a guy for trying.
Thank you.
And I.
Hmm?
If you want, I can. Do you like, some of that green stuff? Do you like that?
I got some in the Jeep, thank you.
All right.
I can talk with the front desk to see if they know about this anthropologist fellow.
All right. So you're getting squared away, and Max goes to the front desk to speak to them. Anybody going with him?
I'll go with him. I don't think I would stay at the Motel 6.
Did
You
we,
actually have kin in town.
I do
Yeah.
have kin too.
You
Do
got a cousin.
would I have recognized the name? Is it from like a local school?
What school were you based out of? You were based out of
I'm based out of Richmond.
Out of Richmond. He didn't give a name for the anthropologist. He said an anthropologist from up north.
I'll come too.
All right, the three of you, Alice, you're just gonna relax.
Oh, if everyone else is going, I want to go too.
Well, Joshua is very not.
Oh,
What are you
He'll
talking
be
about?
fine.
I'm fine. No,
he has Oscar. Oscar's gonna take care of him, and he'll come get us if
definitely-
there's anything wrong.
put me to bed first.
Oscar. So Joshua gets into bed. You all kind of help him in, get the worst of the grimy, bloody clothing off of him. So he's got just in his shorts, his boxers. And you get him into bed, and Annalise helps Oscar up onto the bed. He's limping a little bit. You help Oscar get up onto the bed. He curls up at Joshua's feet. And the four of you go down to the front desk, where there is a gentleman working at the front desk. He sees you coming. It's the. I recognize the three of you are staying here. We have a fourth gentleman. Is everything all right?
No, the stay is absolutely wonderful. I'm sure the only complaint we have is that there are not more ovens. But we did have a question for you. I assume that this
Yeah.
is a set. You remember most people who come through here. Do you remember a gentleman who may have described himself as an anthropologist staying here about a month ago or so?
I remember a gentleman who was a bit of a he was a book learning type. Let me. Is it a friend of yours? Do you know him?
We met once in the city and was visiting. So I wanted to remember one of the areas that he went to go and visit, and here, there, and yonder.
Oh, he goes back through. He starts flipping through the. He's got basically a book, a registry, and he's flipping back through. He goes, oh, here it is. About 3.5 weeks ago, there was let's see, Dr. Edward. I'm sorry, Dr. Stephen Gallard.
Gallard, that's it. Thank you.
They said he was an anthropologist from somewhere up in. Oh, here's his address. It looks like Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. Does it say when he left?
It says here. I vaguely remember he came in. He checked in. He stayed with me for 2 nights while he was talking to people in town, and then he checked out. He had a bunch of camping gear with him. He said he was.
Very good.
He said he was going out and doing some field work, and that he may or may not be back in this way, depending on where his travels led him.
Yes, I think he said something about Emmett's Run.
Emmett's Run. I mean, yeah, I do kind of remember him saying something about that he was going to be camping up that way, looking at some stuff. He said about prehistory, indigenous folk is what he was specializing in, I think.
Oh, you have been so helpful. Thank you. Alice, give the man a cookie.
Oh, well, I actually don't know if I have any more.
I still have some of the ones that you gave me, ma'am.
Did you not try them yet? Oh my goodness,
Oh
you
no,
have to.
I had a couple. I'm diabetic. I can't have too many at once.
Oh,
They are very delicious, though.
I understand that. Oh, my sister-in-law. Oh, she's a diabetic too. Oh,
Yeah,
it's okay,
yeah,
sweetheart. You get through these things. But thank you
yeah.
so
I
much,
just
my
gotta. I
dear.
can have one a meal.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Well, if you need folks need anything for your rooms, you please let me know.
Thank
Sure
you very
thing,
much.
darling. Thank you so much.
Thank you kindly. Well, I say we go up towards Emmett's Run and head up north and try to find this doctor from Philadelphia.
Sweet,
Sounds
rest up.
very fun to me.
I think that's where we're
Annalise,
going.
give me your ornithology roll.
Okay. 12.
If he's from Philadelphia and he's an anthropology guy, he probably is from the University of Pennsylvania.
I want to go through. Can I like try one of my contacts to see if anybody in my sphere knows this guy?
You actually do know natural a environmental biologist at the University of Pennsylvania. Gerald Lynch is his name, and you have his phone number.
We'll get out my Rolodex. And when I'll go back to my room and I'll try to give him a call.
It rings about 4 times, and you're just about to think that it's going to pick up on the voicemail, and suddenly you hear Dr. Lynch on the other line. Hello, can I help you?
Dr. Lynch, this is it's Annalise Baker from Richmond.
Oh, what? Oh, yes, Professor Baker. It's good to hear you.
Well, we've come into a. I've been out in the field lately, and it turns out that there was another anthropologist that was in the area who may have disappeared down in Floyd, Virginia. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you heard anything about a project down here somewhere
Oh,
called Emmett's Run?
give me a minute. Give me a minute. Let me. I happen to have I happen to have the faculty list in my filing cabinet. Let me go get it. They I am assistant dean of the natural sciences department. Give me just a minute. See if I can find anything. And he's flipping through. He's just kind of chatting with you as he's going through. Yes. Dr. Stephen Gallard is still on sabbatical. He's going to do some field research about native, indigenous, prehistoric sites in Southern Virginia. He's not due back from his sabbatical. He took the semester, the summer and the semester off. He's not supposed to be back until. Not supposed to check in with us again until November.
Oh, interesting. Do you know, did he file, did he include any of his research, like where he was planning to go specifically, any maps or anything?
Let me see here. He took an intern with him,
Oh,
David Charters, and as far as I know, David Charters is back. He's registered for classes this fall.
interesting. Would you mind passing over David's information? The thing is, I'm employed for another reason, and we heard tell that an anthropologist was here, but he hasn't been seen recently. And there's been some
Oh,
incidents in the nearby area, and I was just concerned for Dr. Gallard's safety. I just wanted to see if he made it home or not.
well, here, hang on, just give me a minute. Let me see if I can find Charter's information here. And oh yeah, because he was interning through the school. I've got I actually do have his phone number. He rattles off the phone number to you. Yeah, he's as far as I know, he's attending classes right now. So
All right. Well, thank you so much again for your help, and I'll let you know if I hear anything. There's
please
been
do. Like I said, we weren't expecting to hear from him until November, but if
Mhm.
something has occurred, please do let me know.
Absolutely. I appreciate it very much. I'll give David Charters a call. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Please let me know.
All right. All right. I'm
By
gonna
the way,
try to
it's about
call.
7:30 at this point.
I'm gonna try to call him. He might be home.
You know what? Roll a 6-sided die. And you can use a help if you want.
Well, I already rolled it. It's a 5.
Oh, no, you did it. After 2 rings, you hear a pickup on the other line. Hello?
Hi, is this David Charters?
It is. Who's this?
This is Dr. Annalise Baker. I'm an ornithologist down in Richmond. I'm
Oh.
currently down in Floyd, Virginia at the moment, and I've been trying to get in touch with Dr. Stephen Gallard. I hear you were interning with him.
Yeah, yes, I was.
When's the last time you spoke with him?
Oh man, about a month ago, I guess. He we went down there. He had done some research and was trying to hunt out a possible Neolithic site down in the Blue Ridge Mountains,
Mm-hmm.
and I helped him get there. And then once he got on the trail, he said he didn't need me anymore, and that I could head home.
Does this guy seem suspicious?
Roll me through. What are your traits? Oh, you're a community activist. Roll me 3d6.
13.
He seems on the up and up.
All right. And so you're saying he sent you home? Were you able to complete your internship, or was he going to just come back with his field work for you to work on afterwards?
Oh, he was going to come back with field work for me to work on, and I actually haven't heard from him yet.
Mm-hmm.
He said it might be a couple weeks. He had found some reference from a 1700s journal of some homesteader out that way about some cave, and he was going to go look at it.
Do you have any do you have a copy of that maybe you could fax over to me?
A copy of the document that he was looking at.
Yeah.
I mean, let me check and make sure with the head of my department that that's okay. But as long as they say all right, I guess I could do that.
Sure. I did talk to Dr. Lynch today, so.
Oh, you did?
Yes, but feel free to do your check-in. I want you to do your due diligence. That's obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I sure don't mind, but I just want to make sure that that's not the wrong thing to do. What number should I send it to you? And there's a fax machine in the Motel 6.
Like this number.
Yeah. All right. All right. If I can send it over, I'll send it over in about 20 minutes. Let me. You just talked to Dr. Lynch, you said?
I did, yes.
I'm going to call him right now, and then if he says all right, I'll send it over.
Great. Thank you so much, David. If you do hear from Dr. Gallard, here's my number where I'm staying at the moment. Please give me a call.
I will, and look for that to come in the next 20 minutes if I'm allowed.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna go knock on Emma's. Emma's not here. Did Emma leave? Where is Emma?
Did you linger?
I'm lingering. I think I'm hanging out with Max over here.
I'm gonna go knock on Max's door. That's who I would knock on.
Alice, where are you?
Well, seeing as though everyone has retreated to their rooms, I was like, I was hoping that we could maybe chat a little bit. I'll just go back. Maybe it's time to go to sleep. And
Your
I
room
just
is next to Max's, and you hear a knock on his door.
I immediately poke my head out, like, oh, what's going on? Oh.
Joshua, the knock wakes you up too.
What's the stuff? No.
Go back to sleep, Joshua.
It's not room service. Tell you that much.
I just had an interesting couple phone calls. I just wanted to get everybody caught up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know this particular anthropologist, but I know people who do, and he is supposed to be down here doing field work. He sent his intern home a month ago, even though he was headed out to site. That's the opposite of what you do.
And that
Like, the
would have
whole
been right
reason-
around the
Yeah.
time he went out that direction to camp.
The whole purpose of having an intern, you know how hard it is to find an intern that is capable of doing anything?
As
And that if
equally
you
as
brought
hard
them
as
all
to
the way
find,
down
yeah.
here to Virginia, and then you send them home as soon as you find out the location of your dig site, it doesn't make any sense.
Oh.
That's like looking at a bird and not admiring the plumage.
And that's around the time that he went missing. Do you think that he sent him home because he knew it was going to be dangerous?
I don't know. I asked him to have any information that of where they were looking. There was some sort of text from an old book they were looking at. They're supposed to fax that over to the hotel for me.
Well, it's better than what we've got so far. Thank you for the phone calls.
Maybe this anthropologist has weird hooves.
They don't typically have hooves, Alice, but
Oh,
I mean,
I'm
maybe
just talking out loud.
that's yeah. Emma, I'm gonna go out to my Jeep if you wanted to come.
I'll come right on over with you. Yeah,
All right.
I should probably be heading over to my cousin's anyways.
Well, then I'll stay here with Granny and Comatose.
Oh, that was funny, Max.
Anyway, we're gonna go back to the Jeep, and I'm gonna get my special box out from underneath my seat and have a smoke.
All right.
Same.
Alice, you are. Where are you again, Alice? You are.
Alice is gonna go to bed. Seeing
Alice
everyone
goes to
else
bed.
leave. Yeah.
Emma goes on out and joins up with Annalise. It's good stuff.
It's good stuff. All right.
Um,
Well, I'm gonna see you back in your hotel. I'm gonna head on over to my cousin's. So
Thanks for sitting with me. I got a botanist friend who gets this for me.
oh, that's nice.
We trade
Hey,
stuff. And
if you have the chance, if you go down the mountain, there's a really beautiful lake, and if you go around, 5:30, 6 a.m., you can see some speckled what are they called? Speckled starlings.
really?
Yeah, doing their flying stuff. About this
That
time,
sounds.
anyway.
We'll have to. I think I need to go to sleep now. But I thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
all right, Annalise, as you go back in, the front desk man waves you as you walk in. Says, I got a fax for you, ma'am.
Oh, thank you so much.
Here you go.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
It's only 2 pages long,
Okay.
including including the cover sheet. And
Oh,
it
cover
is
sheet.
it is clearly a scanned version of an old diary of some kind. There are some notes made on it in modern English and modern handwriting and everything. It is a journal page from somebody named Justice McIntosh. And in the journal entry, it describes a limestone cave that this Justice found nearby a place that he calls the creek. that there was and that there are in the description as he's writing it, he alludes to old paintings inside.
All right,
And that's all the article. That's all the journal entry says.
I'm gonna fold that up and stick it under my mattress and go to sleep.
All right. Morning dawns. Joshua, you're feeling a little better when you wake up. You're not 100%, but you are certainly capable of carrying out normal tasks during the day.
I feel like I got hit by a truck.
You were attacked by a pig?
Yeah, same thing. All right.
Oh.
Well, I only remember some of what happened, but what's the plan now?
I'm gonna give everybody the document. I'm like, actually, Alice, can you take a look at this, please?
Oh, sure. And I look over it. Would I be able to like glean anything special from it, or?
No.
Cool.
This
Oh,
is.
that's very nice, dear. I'm so glad you found something.
Everybody takes a quick peek at it. Trying to see if anybody would have anything that would give you any further insight. Yes, Emma. Roll me your local lore.
Did she verbally talk about this?
She's passing it around to let everybody see.
Did she verbally?
No, she did not. You hand the piece of paper to Emma, and she stares at it blankly and shrugs.
You don't know anything about this? Does this seem familiar?
About what's on this piece of paper?
Yeah.
As this starts to unfold. Oh, sorry.
It is in like older dialect. So basically what it says is this.
She then says it out loud and describes it to you. And so now give me a roll for your local lore.
7. Oof.
7. You know that there were some Macintoshes that lived in the area. That's all you know. Max, you were going to interject there for a minute.
I was just someone who observes people all the time. I was wanting to roll and see if I could glean anything from what that interaction was.
Yeah, roll your bartender. 3.
3? 10.
You're not 100% sure, but you suspect Emma can't read.
Okay, I'm just gonna retain that.
Well, if you've never heard any Macintoshes.
Well, I mean, I've heard the name. It's been around, but I don't know anybody in particular.
Do you think Mr. Barrett might know?
Maybe.
Well, I say we ask because we should more importantly tackle this while it's still daylight outside.
I agree.
Hate to be up there in the dark because it looks like we are going back in and a little bit further.
Well, maybe he'll come with us.
So after a quick continental breakfast, which basically is those little boxes of cereal,
pull out some jerky.
And there's a
frosted mini wheats.
Exactly. There are Fruit Loops, however, so you can get a little box of Fruit Loops if you want.
Alice, you want some turkey jerky?
Oh, did you make it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course I did. I'll trade you for. I have these apple turnovers that have been in the bottom, but I promise they're still good. I put them in a Ziploc.
I do love them.
Amazing, and I start like chomping. Oh, this is very good. I have to get a recipe. Oh my goodness. Wow.
These are awesome. You're good.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
So you are going back into town then after this?
I think
Where
so.
are you going when you go back into town?
Well, I think that we should go talk to Mr. Taylor. I think he knows a lot of things, and I think that's very smart. Because otherwise, I would just want to go way up to where that creek is and go see what's happening.
All right.
You wander around downtown and you don't see him. It's no
Oh.
longer the festival. It's now Sunday.
Would I know where he lives?
Yes, actually, you would.
All right.
Is everybody in church?
Yeah, ain't he gonna be in church?
What time is it? It's early.
It's about 9 in the morning.
9 o'clock service.
It's church time.
Well,
You get to his house, and there doesn't appear to be anybody there from looking from the outside.
I don't want to go closer to it.
Why not?
Well, he
Well.
said the dog doesn't like people with guns.
Oh, I don't remember that. I must have been asleep.
yeah.
In and out.
Well, just simply don't have a gun on you.
I'm not going anywhere
I'm
without a
gonna
gun here
hold
now.
up my knife.
Oh, I see.
Well, I'll go then. I'm not gonna. I keep it in a case. I don't want anything to crease the pants.
I'm gonna follow behind Max.
I'll stay with Alice because I know she has several.
Oh, I
guns,
can't go
probably.
any further. I have to
Same.
stay over here.
I'm not I'm not putting my rifle down.
Oh, we
Y'all
can
go
just
on
have a
ahead.
little time over here. Oh, ladies, do you need some baked goods? I have some things, and I'm gonna rifle through and just continuously hand you things. Oh, this one's very tasty too.
While the baked goods are being distributed, the rest of you go to the front. The two of you go to the front door. It's a one-story bungalow, relatively simple, a simple structure. It's tidy. It's neat. The lawn is tidy and neat, but not like meticulous. And it's it's not a it's clearly all the native vegetation just kept in line. So it's
He has
not
not
like
succumbed to the French idea of a lawn.
right. Yeah, it's not that. It's not the we hear Versailles is beautiful, so we have to have monoculture lawn in front of our house. No,
Yeah, 'cause
but
it's
it is
the
kept
sticks.
neat and tidy. There's a couple of little pieces of art out there that you vaguely recognize as things that people in town sold at the art market, like that kind of thing. Like, oh, here is a this person does pottery, and clearly he has bought one of their pots to use as a planter. Um, nothing ostentatious, just like you're like, oh, you're the local macrame person. Fine, I'll get a wind chime with your macrame at the top, kind of thing.
I'm gonna
And
walk up and does it have a doorbell?
no, it does not, but it does. It seems like a sturdy wooden door.
I'm gonna give it a good knock then.
You immediately hear barking from inside. The barking persists, and there is no other response.
I'm gonna leave Oscar at the hotel this morning, by the way.
Very good.
I'm gonna give it another good knock and see if anyone. Hello, anyone home?
The dog continues to bark, and you can hear it on the other side of the doors, kind of growl barking at you, as dogs are wont to do when there is someone unfamiliar at the door. But nothing else do you hear.
Well, he must be at church then.
Oh, before we just assume, can we try the handle?
The door is definitely locked.
All right, just curious.
I mean, if you want to go around back and see what's happening, we can.
Yes, I would actually. I don't trust the amount of people who around here who are starting to go missing, not missing. Not that I don't think he could very well be at church. He didn't strike me as uniformed religion.
No, but he does strike me as the kind of person that cares about what people think about him.
Let's go around back.
All right.
You walk back. There's a kitchen door in the back.
I'm trying the handle.
It is locked as well, and the dog obviously comes over to that door now when he hears that and is barking on the other side of that door.
they doing?
Is there like a window? Is there a pane in the door that can we see in or anything?
You can peek in the kitchen window, sure.
Is he going to break into this man's house?
I'm
I don't
gonna
want to be
peek.
involved in this.
There is a. You can see that it is clearly a collie inside that is barking at you. Decent sized one too, like a full bred collie. Very lassie looking dog that is in there barking at you. Everything in the house, just glancing in, looks like a modest, orderly kitchen, modest, orderly living room that you can kind of see through the doorway inside.
Josh, I don't see anything. Nothing looks out of place. The dog's cute. Well,
Yeah, I don't think he's home. I think he would have come out now if the dog been barking this long.
before I do anything that is more criminal than what I want to, maybe we should check church, and then if he's not at church, you can give me a boost.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk back over to the car. Hey, Annalise, you got any duct tape or anything in this car?
Why? Did
I
you break
just-
something?
No, I just want to know if you got duct tape.
Always.
Let me see it. All right,
Here
I
you
want to take
go.
the duct tape and I want to rip off like a thumb-sized portion of it and stick it on the very bottom of the back door to see, I guess on both doors, the very bottom, to see if the door gets opened if we ever have to come back and see.
All right.
We could just leave him a note.
I don't trust him.
Why? He's fine.
What? And why you think that?
I don't know.
Do you know him?
Never done anything fairly well.
Define fairly.
May I roll, please?
Go ahead.
That's a 13.
I mean, you've known him off and on, for the past 10 years at least.
I mean, I've known him for about 10 years. He ain't done nothing bad, I guess. I don't know. He's fine.
Not yet. Most people don't do nothing bad till they do.
Well, let's go to church and see if he's there.
All right.
You know, for what it's worth, you know what I always say is that breaking and entering isn't the worst thing as long as you don't touch anything.
I don't know if we should break and enter in before we go to church.
I'm not sure that's a saying, Granny.
Oh, well, it's what I
Oh,
say.
well, that's interesting. So now you're catching on that some things aren't always sayings.
You just don't get caught. That's it. You know, I'm not saying
I don't
do
want to
anything
have
illegal.
to explain
Just
why
don't
that
touch it.
dog. If something happens to the dog, I don't want to have to explain it.
I
to
have
him.
dog treats.
It's a
Let's
Probably,
go
I
to
don't know
church.
if they'll
He's
go
probably
for it.
at church. Let's go on and find him and
All right.
ask
There
him
is
about
a
it.
single church in Floyd, Virginia at this time.
I like to believe that after one service ends, they have to switch to another denomination. They all just share.
It seems like it's pretty non-denominational.
That's very progressive in the 90s.
Well, it's just because it's the only one.
Fair.
As you arrive, people are starting to come out, and you see coming out because you recognize him. You see Deputy Lester Williams coming out. He kind of
Oh,
looks up and
hi.
sees Alice. Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Hi. How are you?
You're
How
still
was
here,
the
huh?
service today?
Yes. It's fine. If you were coming for the service, you just missed it.
Oh, y'all do a 7 o'clock here?
Oh, that's
Well,
very
it's
early.
at this point it's 10 o'clock in the morning.
Well,
Oh no,
We
we
had
were
a 9
looking.
a.m. service, and Pastor Freed likes to keep it short.
that's nice of him.
I appreciate that. No, we were looking for Mr. Barrett, Mr. Taylor Barrett.
Oh,
Right,
yeah,
that's
you
his
seen him
name?
about?
Right, yeah,
Oh,
the
he's not
Scottish
here.
guy.
he went out. He went out with the sheriff out up to
Oh, yeah,
out up
that's
by
right.
Emmett's Run. He went out up over there.
Oh.
He said that he was going to go help
Hmm.
the sheriff take care of. He looks
Oh,
around to see if
yeah.
anybody's in earshot, and then
The corpses. Yeah.
once it's clear, he says, "The bodies."
Oh, we know about that. Yeah, it's
I know, he
very,
told me.
very sad. It's
He told
very
I
me.
don't think he
unfortunate.
has any business out there. I'm worried for that sheriff.
Well, the sheriff and Mr. Barrett went on out to take a look and, if possible, retrieve them and bring them back. I'm supposed to stay here just so that somebody's in town.
Oh, good
All
for
right.
you. That's a lot of
Yeah.
responsibility, young man.
He kind of mutters, "You're telling me."
Hmm. Well, should we go and see Mr. Barrett then? Or should we try to catch up with them? Or
I mean,
They
I
went
feel
on up
like
to Emmett's Run at some point. As far as I know, they went up at first light.
oh, so they're up at that other place that we talked about yesterday. Oh. Hmm.
I feel like we should probably just head on up to where
We
that
should just,
document
yeah, we
was
should just
talking
We should
go.
about.
probably just. Okay, well, thank you so much, dear. Is there anything else that we should know that might possibly get us all killed if we go up there?
He kind of starts. What?
What?
I'm sorry.
Is
I
there
thought you
anything we
said.
should know?
Not that I'm aware of, ma'am.
Oh,
That
you're so
Jesus
good at
loves
this.
you,
Good job.
Alice.
Thank you so much. Here, do you want a cookie? You take a cookie, okay? Give one to your wife, too, okay?
Where does she get these from?
He's just standing there with 2 cookies in his hand at this point, just confused.
Great, and I go and turn to the group and just stop like talking to him.
He wanders off, 2 cookies, 1 in each hand. Confused.
All right, let's go on up.
I think we should. I need to go back to my car real quick, though. There's a couple things I'd like to grab.
All right.
All right.
Very well. You go back to your vehicle and grab the case.
Yes,
Very well.
and the accoutrement for the case.
Very good.
I'm gonna grab my hunting rifle in my truck as well
All
I'm gonna
right.
grab some ammo.
because I didn't
Yeah.
have that last time. I just had the pistol.
Ooh, let me see it. You gonna see that?
Yeah,
That's
it's my
nice. That's a
my
nice rifle.
grandpa's.
That's nice. Good sight. That's nice.
Shoots good too.
Sure it does.
Oh.
How are you getting back out there? Last time you just took the one car, the Jeep. What are you thinking this time?
I mean, we could
you
all
know-
go in my car, but it's not quite big enough, I don't
Let's
think.
take 2 this time.
Oh,
I agree. I
okay.
think we should take 2 in case something happens to the one,
Sure.
or if we get split and have to make it out fast.
In fact, we'll just take my truck as well.
Great.
So the Jeep and the truck driving on out. You make your way out to the. You can't quite drive all the way to where the still was, as I mentioned last time, because it's not really designed for that. They don't want anybody just driving up there. So you get into that rough vicinity. You arrive at that spot. Let's see. Joshua, Emma, and Alice, give me your hunting / tracking type roles.
How many
18.
dice?
Alice 4, Joshua 3, Emma 4.
14.
16.
18.
You all know that there's been a vehicle here already, and Emma, you recognize it's probably a 4-wheel drive, like a Blazer or something like that. And then it occurs to you that that the sheriff does in fact have a Blazer, a Chevy Blazer, and it's tracks from this morning. They apparently have been here and gone already.
Yeah, well,
You
the
must
sheriff has been here.
You
and
must have
gone,
missed them
so.
going back and forth.
Oh,
How many roads come up to this ridge?
Just the one, but it does go back to a bigger road.
Hmm.
And you guys did go back to the motel. They came up here at dawn, so it's possible you just missed them. These car tracks look like they were here fairly early. Probably they were here before 9 o'clock, and you just
I mean-
passed them on the way somewhere.
I feel like we should just head on over to the what's it called? The site the site where the doctor is.
The dig site that is in the limestone caves, if we know where that is.
I mean, we're
I'm going to let you guys talk about this. I have to step away for just a brief moment. Please excuse me. I'll be right back.
I mean, I
Do we
feel
know
like
where
we're in
his
the
dig site was?
vicinity.
I mean, I have a basic
A good idea.
where he went. I mean, I don't know that he knew where it was either. That he was just going there, and
I mean,
you really are supposed to do a lot more paperwork than this before you have an actual dig site that you're bringing an intern on that you didn't bring. Like,
I don't think he had any intention of ever bringing the intern there.
Well, I don't know what we're gonna find there, but I
We're
don't want to
probably going to find another dead body, if I'm being transparent.
Well, I was just about to say I don't want to find any more dead bodies. This is
Then you
This is
might not
not-
want to go.
this is not how my job normally goes.
Well,
I mean, it might just get to the bottom of all this unusualness.
I suppose.
I say we just go. Because, what better way to see than the root of it all? Apparently, I don't know. I'm just intrigued about these tracks. And I wouldn't, I'll pull out my binoculars and just kind of have them ready. Be like, ooh, well, if we think we could see anything, I have binoculars. We could take a little look. And, I'm quite good at looking at things from a distance and kind of getting a sense of what's going on.
Which direction are you observing in? What are you trying to look for?
Oh, I'm just saying a hypothetical right now. But if I
right.
were to, as soon as we go up, I'm ready. I'm prepped.
Do I know about any limestone caves around Emmett's Run?
This whole area is full of. I mean, it's not like you take 10 steps and fall into a cave, but the Appalachian
Funny
Mountains
enough,
in
that
general,
is what does happen in the Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah, the Appalachians do have a lot of caverns, just because of the type of stone that is there, and the water table moving through it, and the very fact that they are so ancient. The Appalachian Mountains predate bones, literally. Also, the rings of Saturn.
Yes, I do. So even with the knowledge of what they have relayed to me on that bit of paper, I kind of don't really know where the site would be.
It's from the documents that Annalise got. It looks like it was specifically described as a quarter-mile north of the Big Bend in the stream, which you assume is Emmett's Run. Emma, you know where the Big Bend is. It's at one point the stream, which is basically going from northwest to southeast, takes an almost 90-degree turn to go to the southwest as it cuts through a ridge of the mountains. And from your understanding, from that point, you head north about a quarter of a mile is where it's supposed to be.
All right.
Well, let's go there then and see what this dig site's all about.
There is there's no vehicle path there. You will have to walk.
Well, isn't that just dandy? Let's I'm gonna stop my truck on the side of that little road and hop out with the gun.
Let's get to walking. And if anyone has an issue with that, the cars will stay here, and you're more than happy to stay with them.
Oh, this sounds like fun. Let's go, boys.
Let's
I'm
go
gonna-
for a hike.
I'm just gonna have my rifle in the crook of my arm.
Alice, do
yeah.
you have any more streamers? Or
Oh,
string?
of course I do. Here. And I give you the rest of them.
Thank you.
Is this a pretty well marked trail?
There is no trail.
There is no trail.
Great.
I could get us out.
In fact, to that end, Emma, if you would roll me 4d6 for your local hunting and tracking to see how you go.
20.
How much?
20.
20. Oh, my goodness. Straight as an arrow. You lead them right to the bend in the river after about a half a mile of hiking. And then you see that there's the angle, and you imagine if you were to draw off of that 90-degree angle due north, you have a rough idea where exactly that should be. It goes over a ridge line, it looks like, if you were to go due north. Not a high one, probably only a couple 100 feet, but there's a little saddle of land that you would have to go up and over, and it presumably would be on the other side.
All right.
Again, you're within a half a mile of where you were told this cave should be.
Shall we?
Let's keep
I'll
on keeping
follow
on.
you. You're the local.
I mean, sure.
All right, at this point, it's about noon. By the time you get to this point, you crest over the rise, and there's a little pond kind of nestled down in there. If you've ever been in the Appalachian Mountains, or really any lower range mountains, very often the water will collect and form ponds and such in between, and because of the folds of the land, it has nowhere to go. So there's a stagnant pond kind of in the middle, reeds growing up all around it. You can hear the croaking of frogs. You can smell that algae smell of on a late summer, but still kind of warm day. You can smell that green earthiness, the algae smell. It's not exactly like a rotting kind of a excuse me.
Bless you.
Kind of smell like you might get at a low tide at a beach, but it's certainly that algae smell. If you've ever been to a partially eutrophied pond, that's the pond that's growing over. That's what you smell as you come down. And you can see that there's some stands of pines all around it. And that's what you see before you, only maybe 100 yards ahead of you, probably less.
Well, this is
Alright.
pretty.
Yeah, I don't. This water seems pretty lifeless to me.
You do hear some frogs croaking here and there, and there
Never
certainly
mind.
are.
I stand corrected.
Sorry, I was not accurate in my description. There is certainly you see dragonflies zipping across the surface.
Never mind. This pond is full of life. Let's go.
It
check
really
out
is.
that cave.
It really is. When I say eutrophication, that's when the sediment builds up in a pond and it just becomes like a fertile meadow. Many meadows you find in the forest used to be a pond. So that's what you're seeing there, is something along the stage to that.
Can we see the cave entrance?
You don't see. There's not like a cave entrance anywhere,
Oh.
and you're still about 100 yards.
There's not a marquee that says "Enter here."
There's a dwarf with an axe and a big
Damn.
long beard.
Oh.
And a couch standing next to him, and they're pointing into the. No, there is not.
I would like to just take a look around, see if there's anything that indicates where we should go. I guess anything unusual.
All right, go ahead, and you're checking for. You're like actually getting down and checking around.
Yeah.
On the underneath the overgrowth.
While you're doing that, I think just so taken aback by the beautiful nature that I don't see. Just a real quick, like, I've got my case because that's what the gun is. It's just a real quick, like, oil pastel. Just like, oh well, I have to remember this.
All right, very good.
An
So
18.
18.
Yes.
All right, and Max is sketching and giving a quick painting.
I got a
Annalise, what are you
5.
doing?
Can I? Do I see? Do I see any sort of like path or markings that someone came through this way?
You can roll. I'll let you roll 3d6 for that. Joshua, what are you doing?
So I'm really surprised that like an anthropologist made it through this thick brush without disturbing much of anything.
Keep in mind he was through here a month ago, allegedly.
But still, he didn't break any like yeah, I guess like
Are you checking for that?
Well, I rolled a 17. Can I see if that happened?
Well, Joshua, are you checking out the terrain as well?
yeah, and I'll say, hey everyone, keep a lookout for broken branches and overturned rocks, and
You may roll me
see if he
3d6.
made one of those rock pillar things that you're supposed to knock down when you go hiking now.
Joshua, roll me 3d6.
Sure. Hey, that's an 18.
2 18s and a 17. Alice, what are you doing?
I think I'm grabbing the gun out of my bag, the front bag.
All right.
And just readying that just in case. I'm looking around. I'm seeing what everybody else is seeing first.
Alice pulls out a rather significant bolt action rifle with a rather significant scope on the top of it.
And I just start to I find a good spot and I set up.
Very good. You're gonna stay back away from the pond and set up?
Yeah, I think
Very
so.
good.
Alice, where did you get that?
That is a nice rifle.
Oh, thank you, dear. I've had her for years. I call her Clementine.
It's a 308.
All right.
All right.
Those of you searching around, you find what it looks like. Maybe somebody was through here once a while ago. There's a lot of wildlife tracks coming in and out. Rabbit, deer. You even spot some feral pig tracks coming in and out of this location. You also find those hoof prints again. The rather large, oversized deer prints with the irregular edges. You find plenty of those, actually. And they all seem to go down to the northeast corner of the pond.
I do not want to go first, but I think we have to go that way.
All
I'll
right.
go first.
I'm gonna load my hunting rifle and walk right behind Imogene.
Imogene's standing in front, walking down. Joshua following up behind her. Alice is up on the hill.
Don't worry, dears. I got you.
She's looking down from afar. Max, what are you doing?
I'll follow. That's where we're going.
Are you next? And then Annalise is bringing up the rear. Is that what I'm understanding? Okay.
Works for me.
Yep.
Emma, as you wind your way down to the pond, you do eventually see that there's an area that goes down into the rocks that could only be described as probably a cave. So there's a hill, there's the pond, and in the side of the hill, there's an opening. It's probably about 5 feet tall and maybe 2.5 to 3 feet wide at most. Basically just a crack in the ground that goes inside. And you can see that there are it looks like this area had been had like a small slide come down over it at one point. But it looks like someone has removed the rocks and the scree you can see like the rocks that have been displaced off to the sides of the opening were not. You can tell from where the moss and the lichen is growing on the rocks that they were in place for some time and they have recently been moved.
Someone's been digging around here.
Well, it's probably our anthropologist friend. Well, friend, lawful. Never met. I'm assuming friend.
Well, let's hope it was him and not something else.
Is the cave, is it like a drop down situation?
It goes down. It doesn't drop straight down, but it's certainly almost at like a 45-degree angle down.
All right, it's pretty steep.
Dr. Gallard, are you here?
You hear no response.
Hello.
And then, like in the Grinch, you just hear, "You're an idiot."
I will say there is not a big echo that comes out.
I'd like to chuck a stone, like a rock, down to see if it like hit something down further.
You can hear it skitter down through some rock and probably soil that's probably eroded down there over the years. But it definitely, there's a floor to it. You can hear it.
Anybody got a flashlight?
I do. Get my flashlight.
All right. Farther up and farther in, I think.
I just yell up to Alice and be like, "Hey Alice, we're going underground. You want to come?"
Oh, I'll come a little closer, but you know, I'll still hang a little behind just to keep you kids safe.
Alice, you're not going to be able to snipe anything in the cave, darling.
You'd be surprised. And I want to move I'll move up to probably the cave entrance if they decide to go in further.
Oh, yeah, they're going in.
Great, cool. I will follow, but I want to be definitely like trailing to give myself some good space.
Who goes in first? Emma? Are you passing the flashlight up to Emma? Is that what's happening? Okay.
Yes.
Emma, the cave does not go very far. The cave is relatively shallow. Probably 15 to 20 feet in and maybe 10 feet down. And it opens up into a small chamber the size of maybe a mid-sized bedroom size, but no more than that. Rough stone walls. Clearly, this is a natural formation. And the first thing you notice as you pass the lights through is there is somebody standing in the corner.
Like, oh wait, hold on.
Hello?
I'm gonna make this is 1990, right?
1991. There's a humanoid figure in the corner that your light passes over briefly.
I'm just making sure I can't make the reference. Never mind.
Wait, go back.
I
I would have trained my rifle on it.
Emma?
I'm gonna put the light back on it, and I'm gonna pop the snap on my my hatchet.
You train the light back over, and there's an individual. It looks like they're standing, but as you look closer, there's no weight on their legs. Their legs, in fact, are wasted away, and there's. It almost looks like they're wearing some sort of studded vest or some such. And as you look closer, you realize it is not a studded vest. They are impaled upon half a dozen antlers that are in the wall. It's as if someone has taken this person and thrown them against a wall full of antlers. And they are impaled and very much dead, hanging there on just about an inch or two off the ground, and have been for some time. The flesh is pretty well rotted away. It only smells slightly in here, as if something is keeping the air refreshed. doesn't stink like a roadkill on the side of the road, or like your uncle did when you found him by the still. But there is still that smell of death, just lighter here. As you play the light across, you can see that there's already mushrooms growing out of his skin, out of his body. It is
I would
definitely
like
a
to
man.
go
You can see the beard.
investigate. I would like to go investigate where the antlers attach to the wall.
You're going to walk on up and take a look?
Yeah.
Okay. The antlers appear to be growing out of fissures in the rock wall. Or either that or they were wedged in there very well prior to his impalement.
Oh, this ain't right.
Does he have any ID on him?
He's, as you look around now that you're there and you're a little, that's the initial startle of seeing that. You see that there's a bag of camping gear on the floor, tucked away in the corner. It looks as though it's been rifled through and partially spread out on the ground. And as you're looking, you see that there's a notebook with a sketch in it of some sort of cave painting. And as you are looking at that, Emma, you train your flashlight up on the wall. And there on the wall, very Lascaux primitive man cave paintings like you would find in the south of France. You've all seen those the stylized like bison that they're hunting and little figures with that. That is not exactly what you see. What you see can best be described as a centaur, only its hooves end in split like a deer. It's rearing up. It has the torso of a man coming out of the front, but then the head is this antlered thing, deer-like. Now, again, it's just a primitive painting, but it looks like a stag sort of centaur rearing up on the cave wall, which is the same as the sketch that this unfortunate individual was making.
Is there a lantern
picking up that
in
journal.
You grab the journal?
I do. Yep.
Is there a lantern in the camping gear?
You find
Or
a
light source?
flashlight in there, and as you reach down, you hear a trumpet-like bleating outside of the cave entrance. Your blood runs cold. You've heard that sound before.
Ah, fuck.
And with that, we're going to end for tonight.
Got 2 minutes before 3 to 5 feral pigs show up.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here for another episode of Gothic Horror Gaming. I am your host, the Glue Master. We're going to continue this later on down the month. But before we go into any more of that, I would like to take a moment to introduce all of our players and tell you a little bit about them and any projects they might have coming up. So let us start off with Joshua Berry. Joshua.
Hello, it's me, Graham. Hello, it's me, Graham. Yes, you can follow me on Instagram at anxiety.cracker. Yes, I did the Oregon Renaissance Fair. That's over now. Now I'm in PA. I'm going to be at the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair starting August 17th, going all the way to October 27th. You can find me at the Boar's Head Brawl and the Tournament of Arms.
Excellent. Doing the fighty stuff.
Yeah, swords and things.
Hooray. We also have with us Annalise.
Hello, I'm Emily. You can find me at Emily_ROUCH on Instagram. I am currently with Chase Treasure at the Colorado Renaissance Festival. Woo-woo. Actually, next Wednesday, if anybody is in the area, I'll be performing in Old Colorado City at Kookaroo, which is a Cuban restaurant. We'll be playing music there with some of the Crimson Pirates. And then after that, I'm in lots of places. I'll be in New Mexico in August as well after Colorado finishes the first weekend of August. And then Connecticut after that. I'm somewhere. Follow me on Instagram.
Probably the best way to do it. And we also have Alice.
Hi, I'm Maddie. I'm also at Colorado Renaissance Fair with Chase Treasure, causing chaos, being weird. You can also find me on Instagram at Maddie's Comment to see what other nonsense and cat pictures I'm up to.
And that's the important part, the cat pictures.
Yeah, well, of course it is.
Always.
That's what the internet is for. We also have Emma Jean.
Hi, everybody. I'm Katie Hauser, resident Gothic horror gaming person. You can find me at hobthetroll.bandcamp.com. Because reasons. Anyway.
For anybody who's been a long time viewer of this channel, you will understand why that is.
Yes.
And we also have with us Max Carrington.
Hey everybody, Alex Sampola here. If you're in the New York area or you want to come pop up, come see me at the 20-Sided Tavern, the Dungeons & Dragons show off Broadway at stage 42. Link for tickets right there. I'll be up a lot in the month of July, so I think I'm currently right now my schedule for the next 2 weeks. It's just I'm not on Saturdays, so you can come see me every other day of the week. And follow me on my Insta at Astompoli. I have no cat, but I have commentary, so you can follow me.
You can be catty. How about that?
It's exactly what I mean. That's my story, baby.
And
what about you?
I am Tom Zadoyko. I am your Gloom Master. I am currently have a couple weeks off, but I'll be up at the main Renaissance Fair. Well, I will be their evil sheriff, Sir Winston Payne, for the last 2 weekends of July. Then I'll be at the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair doing Buckle and Swash, our pirate sword fighting show with one Ryan H. Gelodi, super genius. And then we will be at the Louisiana Renaissance Fair with many of these same people, and then in November and December. And that segues very nicely into thanking our sponsors, Destination D&D, RenAdventures.com. We've got one coming up. I don't have a graphic for it yet for the trip to New Orleans. We are having play D&D in New Orleans, and then it culminates on the weekend going to the Louisiana Renaissance Fair, where you can find all of us there at renadventures.com. I would also like to thank our good friends, Amy and Jesse at 3dtu.org. They're just really good friends of ours, and they're really lovely people, and they make all sorts of gaming products. Find them at 3dtu.org. And also, we have a book, Dare, a collection of short fiction and poetry by Melissa Lee, Handler Z, narrated by yours truly. If you choose for the Audible version, you can find that on the Amazon right over there. And we're working on a new one that will hopefully be coming up very soon. There's a link that you can use to find it. Or you can also go to our Patreon to support us. Patreon.com/Quill and Quote. She writes the stories, I narrate them. You have to search it that way because it is 18 and over material. You will not find it in just a search. You actually have to type it in. Become a Patreon over there, one of our patrons, and we send you the stories as she writes them and as I narrate them. So you get them a little bit in advance, and check it out that way and support our endeavors. So beyond that, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here tonight. And stay tuned on our Facebook and our Discord. We may have some scheduling issues for next week. I'm not 100% sure yet, but we will let you know as soon as we can hammer that out when our next episode will be. And we will find out what is going on in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Maybe. Or maybe everyone will die. Who can say? So thank you so much to Sir David Percival over there, who was keeping track of our helps. We didn't really use any this time, but they certainly accumulated. And I have a feeling that they are going to really need it. You can also find us on the Discord. It's right over there. Sir David Percival helped us out and posted that up there. Thank you so much, everyone. And have a lovely 4th of July and a lovely evening. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.